There are counties in America where permits go to die, where taxes glance at your land and shrugged, where no inspector jumps out of the sagebrush with a clipboard, where the government doesn't micromanage your porch, it forgot its keys. These are the places you can throw together a cabin, pitch a yurt, stack 3 abandoned RVs into a house, or dig an experimental bunker and nobody asks for a single form. So tighten your boots. We're driving to the last 5 counties where living free still looks normal. No permits, no HOA, and sometimes not another soul for miles. Freedom used to be simple. Own land, build a home, plant a garden without filling out form for 7B, or explaining why your toilet composts. Now, most places treat building like a reality show with paperwork. You want a shed? Bring your passport and a notarized apology. But in the counties we'll visit, rules are optional. Enforcement is a rumor. And taxes are the kind that make accountants do a double take. If you're done trading life for signatures, this tour is for you. Tap subscribe, not for me, for every HOA that just lost a tiny bit of power. Welcome to Loving County, Texas, the place where America's population chart gives up. Depending on the year, the whole county has roughly the same number of people as a high school bus. Drive through, and you'll swear you wandered into a deleted scene from a post-apocalyptic movie. Endless sky, oil pumps nodding like they're judging your gas mileage, and silence so deep you can hear your thoughts complain. Here's the fun part. Loving County has 0 building permits for private homes. None. You want a cabin. Swing a hammer. A shipping container house. Stack away. A bunker shaped like an armadillo because inspiration struck at 2 a.m. If it stands up, the county salutes your creativity. There's no code office, no inspector named Stan hiding behind a mesquite tree, and no zoning map that looks like a spilled box of crayons. Just land giant, quiet, and yours to shape. Taxes, practically a love letter. Oil revenue covers most of the budget, so your bill shows up looking like the cashier forgot to ring up half your items. It's the kind of number that makes city folks squint and say, that can't be right. But freedom has a price. Your closest neighbor may be a windmill. The nearest store may require a podcast-length drive. Emergency services operate on what we generously call frontier time. Loving County isn't for people who crave lattes or door. It's for the ones who want silence, stars, and a life uninspected. Loving County is what happens when freedom is left unsupervised, raw, empty, honest. If you want to build your life with your own hands and no one telling you the roof pitch is emotionally disruptive, this is your place. If Loving County is freedom baked under the Texas sun, then Lawrence County. Missouri is freedom relaxing on a cool front porch. This isn't the desert or the harsh frontier. It's soft green hills, gravel roads that crunch under your tires, and small towns where the cashier doesn't just ask for your ID, she asks how your mama's doing. But don't let that peaceful Midwest vibe fool you. Behind it is one simple fact. No county zoning rules and no building codes. Your land isn't boxed into categories or color-coded on some bureaucrat's map. It's just landinest, simple, and yours. Want a cabin at the back of the property? Build it. A double-wide trailer? Park it. A barn dominium so big your friends question your life choices? Missouri just nods and says, go ahead. There are no inspectors cruising around looking for trouble. No letters in the mail saying your workshop violates some imaginary aesthetic rule. Honestly, people here would laugh so hard at that idea, they'd spill their sweet tea. And taxes, they stay low, really low. City folks look at the numbers and think there has to be a typo. But that's just life here, affordable, doable, and sane. Daily life is simple in the best way. People grow gardens, fix their own tractors, and wave when they pass you on the road. You mind your business, they mind theirs. That's the whole system. Sure, that means your neighbor might build a chicken palace or a metal shop that looks like a UFO landed in a hayfield. But that's the trade you make. Their freedom means your freedom too. Lawrence County isn't dramatic, and it isn't trying to be cool. It's simply one of the last places where rural America still works the way it was meant to. You buy land, you build a life, and the county leaves you alone. But if you crave more space, head west until the trees fade and the sky looks oversized, like someone dragged the corners in Photoshop. Welcome to Hardin County, New Mexico, a place so quiet the wind has to remind itself to keep blowing. Hardin County is one of the least populated counties in the entire state. Ranches, cattle, and open plains that feel endless. And a local government so small it could hold a meeting in the back of a pickup truck. Here's what makes it special. There is no building department, not a slow one, not an understaffed one. It simply does not exist. You want a cabin? Build it a tiny home. Drop it anywhere. An off-grid earthship shaped like a spaceship. Go ahead, even a tower of shipping containers, because you watched too many zombie movies. The county just nods and carries on. You'll look at your bill and wonder if someone forgot a zero. But no, that's just New Mexico being New Mexico. Talk to the locals, and they'll tell you the same thing. If you want something done, you do it yourself. If you want something built, you build it yourself. Nobody is checking, nobody is inspecting, and nobody is driving across 40 miles of dirt road just to judge your back porch. The landscape adds to the magic. Tall grass, mesas, sagebrush, and sunsets so wide they feel illegal. At night, the only sounds are coyotes and a confused cow trying to understand your existence. Of course, this freedom comes with a price. Hardin County is remote, very remote. If you order a pizza, the driver might send you a postcard instead. Stores are far, and emergency services run on good luck and patience. But that's the point. People come here to escape the noise, the rules, and the endless forms. Hardin County is land without micromanagement and life without interruption. Now, most people think Arizona is just cactus, heat stroke, and tourists melting on the sidewalk. But Greenley County feels like the state took a coffee break and accidentally grew a mountain range. The highway in is a scenic thrill ride. Sharp turns, cliff edges. Forests popping up out of nowhere like nature hit shuffle and just went with it. And here's the headline. Greenley County has no residential building codes. Zero. None. You want a log cabin? Grab an axe, a tiny home, park it. A house shaped like a chili pepper because you had one spicy dream. Build it, nobody is checking. There is no building department, no surprise inspector, and no official who mistakes off-grid living for a Wi-Fi issue. As long as you're not trying to reshape the entire mountain, the county stays politely out of your business. Taxes? Almost comical. In some parts of the county, your yearly bill costs about the same as a weekend grocery run in Phoenix, maybe less if you avoid the organic aisle. And unlike many freedom counties, Greenley is actually breathtaking. We're talking cliffs, pine forests, narrow canyons, and a sky so blue it looks retouched. It's the kind of scenery that makes you think about quitting technology. Until you remember you can post drone shots to make everyone jealous. Most folks cluster near the mining towns of Clifton and Morenci, colorful, steep little places with buildings that look glued onto the hillside. But the real freedom lives outside town. Quiet valleys, remote ridges, an open land where the only creatures watching you build are deer and maybe a confused mule. No HOA measuring whether your roof color offends. The neighborhood mood, no zoning board telling you can't build on a cliff edge. And no paperwork asking why your living room is technically a cave. Just mountains, trees, space, and the freedom to build whatever feels like you. Greenley County is a reminder that freedom isn't always found in deserts or wide-open plains. Sometimes it's perched on a cliff wrapped in pine trees, waiting for someone stubborn enough to say, yeah, this is home. And finally, we arrive at Esmeralda County, Nevada. This is what happens when freedom stops whispering and starts shouting into the desert. It is the least populated county in the entire state. And considering Nevada has towns with more wild donkeys than people, that is saying something. Drive into Esmeralda, and it feels like you slipped into another century. Long, empty highways, hills that look hand-carved by a giant who got bored halfway through, and ghost towns scattered around like old postcards. Someone forgot to mail. Here's the headline. There is virtually no building code enforcement, no planning office, no zoning department, no clipboard warrior waiting to judge your off-grid dreams. It is the closest thing to total construction freedom left in America. Want a cabin? Build it, a geodesic dome. Sure, a solar-powered bunker, a yurt, or a desert fortress made of glass bottles. Go ahead, in Esmeralda County. The rule is simple. If it stands up, congratulations, you're good. Towns like Goldfield still have life-old buildings with character and diners where everyone knows everyone. But once you leave the town limits, it's just you, the desert, and a silence so thick it almost has weight. Property taxes stay low. You won't need a second job just to afford your mailbox. And the county isn't neglecting anything nits, just impractical to regulate. 3,500 square miles with fewer than 1,000 residents. You could build a castle in the middle of nowhere, and the nearest witness might be a lizard. And he definitely won't snitch. The freedom here is real, but so are the trade-offs. Summers get hot, winters bite back. Cell service disappears the moment you say, "I think I have a signal," and groceries might be an hour away, sometimes more, depending on the wind and your luck. But that's why people choose Esmeralda. They want space. They want silence. They want the right to build a life without filling out forms or attending a zoning meeting. Run by someone who hates tiny homes. It's not perfect. It's not convenient. But it is pure, unapologetic freedom, the kind that's getting harder and harder to find. And there you have it, 5 real counties where freedom isn't just a slogan. It's the daily weather. It's the background noise. It's simply the way life works, from the oil fields of Texas to the green hills of Missouri, from the open plains of New Mexico to the rugged mountains of Arizona, and finally, the silent ghost towns of Nevada. Each of these places proves something important. America hasn't run out of freedom. It just moved to the places most people never think to look. Places without inspectors, without zoning battles, and without taxes that require a deep breath and a calculator. These counties aren't perfect. They won't deliver your groceries. They won't bring you convenience. But they offer something cities can't sell: space, silence, and a chance to build your life with your own 2 hands. If this journey made you dream a little about cabins, off-grid life, or a home where nobody pops out of the bushes with a clipboard, hit like, tap subscribe. Because every time you do, an HOA somewhere loses just a tiny bit of power. Stay curious, stay free, and I'll see you in the next one.